Hello, this is Steve Hughes with the Virtual Piano Studio. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to go behind the scenes a little bit. You're going to see me work with Sibelius. I'm going to record a piece. This piece is out of a collection of pieces I'm writing for beginners. They are rote pieces. So I guess we'll just go ahead and start. I do want to say that if you're a teacher or a musician and you're interested in learning how to use Sibelius or any other music software, I have been trained and have been using these pretty much every type of notation recording software, and also software like ScreenFlow. I do teacher training and I teach you how to use it via Zoom, and we have hour sessions together and private sessions that teach you exactly how to use the software, how to set up for it, the equipment that you need, all of that. So if this interests you and you want to know more about that, feel free to reach out to me, or if you have any questions about this video, you can certainly leave comments underneath. So here we go. Okay, so we are in the startup screen. So I clicked on New Score and Piano. So this is where we are. And I'm going to go ahead and set up my document. We're in 4/4 time, no pickup, and I'm going to go ahead and set up my metronome marking. 460. It's a lot easier to do it here. Go ahead and do all your setup prior to, or then you have to do it all individually later. And we are in the key of G flat. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and type in my score. The name of the tune is Innocence. We're going to create the score. All right, so I've already checked my MIDI settings. Just make sure to do that beforehand. Obviously, if you don't have anything recording, you need to check your MIDI output. And how you would do that, the easiest way, just go up to the very top, preferences, okay, and then check your MIDI. Mine is my Nord stage. Most people use USB from their keyboard, and it will automatically detect it. All right, so there's really nothing else I need to do here to prepare. I'm going to go ahead and record. So this is our kind of raw data, and hopefully it gives us, what we're going to do actually. I'm going to change the clefs, go ahead and get that set up. So I'm going to double tap the trackpad. I'm on a Mac, a little bit different on the PC, should be right click. And then click clef, treble, and then treble on the bottom staff. Okay, so one less thing to do later. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to bring up I do need to do this. Go to your view tool, or in the ribbon up here. I prefer to uncheck hidden objects. It's just annoying to see all that kind of stuff in the background, like watermark objects. And then let's go ahead and view your transport. And we're going to put that right there. And let's make sure that we have our keypad, which has all of our kind of easy access notation for later. Okay, so now the transport tool, I'm ready for beat 1 to record. So here we go. Okay. The A section does repeat. Okay. So what it looks like happened here is everything went into the bottom clef. Okay. So what I probably should have done is assigned it a little bit differently, but this is really easy to fix. Okay. So let's just say this happened. I don't feel like redoing it. I have my data in there. I'm just going to go ahead and work with this. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, that's going to be better. All right. So what we're going to do is, obviously I want it to look and be presented as best as possible. The left hand is playing this G flat, and then the rest is up in the top treble clef. So we're going to first change this whole rest to an eighth rest. Okay. All right, good. So now this is very easy to do. We're just going to grab all of this right there, copy and paste, go to the eighth note, the upbeat of 1, put it in there, and now we're going to go back through and hold shift to the rest of the bar, and that's how I want to look outside the stem. I do want to change that. So we're going to go ahead and select on this note here. We're going to go into our keypad, and then we're going to go to the third one, which is beams and tremolos, and then we're going to change that. That's just going to be just like that. Perfect. While we're here, I'm going to go ahead and change this note to a whole note because for 2 reasons. It's a lot more legible, a lot more readable, and also I want to make sure that the left hand really rings out. Okay, so now we're clicking on this note. Let me zoom a little bit more. And then we're just going over to our note tool, top left, click on whole note, and there we go. So that first measure basically shows you the format of how I want the entire piece. So I should have actually recorded this in treble and bass clef, and I could redo it, but it's good practice anyways to go through this. And actually I need these to be longer, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to change this note, the value of this, to go all the way through beat 4. So I'm just going to change that to a half note. All right, so now I'm back to where I was before. And we're going to change this beam here. Okay, let's go ahead and change it to a whole note. And just click on the rest, and then it makes it regular whole note. Okay, let's go back and add a tie to it. Okay, so what we're going to do, now this is something that I still haven't fully figured out on editing the brackets. This is a newer version of Sibelius, and they've changed it. So anyways, if you know a better way to use the brackets, please let me know. So we're going to highlight the note that we want to add any kind of symbol on. Then we're going to go off the note and double tap or right click if you're a PC user. And we're going to go to symbol. So I'm going to use this opening bracket here. All right, and I will put LH for left hand. So I'm going to click on the note again above it, double tap, text, and of course there are shortcuts for all of this. LH, and it will automatically kind of set it up nice and neat. There we go. So now I'm going to do that for all of them. I'm just going to copy and paste now. All right, let me fix this beam here. Go to our beam tool and select the front facing or no beam. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to do our octave symbol here. We're going to start on that note. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and transpose. So I'm going to select this whole group. Just hold Shift, go to the last note, and get the group. And then we have there's a few different ways to do it. We're going to go to note input, and then below an octave. And we're going to delete them. Okay, let's go ahead and reassign these brackets properly here. All right, so now we're going to put our octave symbol. I know it doesn't look great right now, but it will get fixed. So what we're going to do is click on this note here. That's where it's going to start. We're going to double tap. Okay, and then we're going to go down to line. Okay, so octave up. And then we're going to drag that across right there. Bring it up a little bit. Okay, so that's definitely better. And then I'm going to bring this down a little bit here. Okay, so now I need to also identify my right hand parts. Okay, so I'm going to create a little bit more space here. Here we go, between the right hand and the left hand. All right, so now I'm going to go to this note here, and we're going to use a different kind of bracket here. Since I haven't figured out how to do the L-shaped on the brackets. And we're going to go to line. And I'm going to use this bracket above. Right there. And copy and paste that, go to this note. Okay. I will definitely need to fine tune that. So next thing is, let's go ahead and add a fermata to this G here. And we're going to go to our fermata tool here. Click on it. And the last note's going to have a fermata as well. That's going to bump that up a little bit, of course. Let's go ahead and delete all these measures. So this is really easy to do. Just click on that measure. Now we're going to go all the way to the end and then hold Shift click, that selects all of those measures. Go to home, delete, yes, and now we have our score. So this is kind of what it looks like so far. Just kind of looking at this to see if there's any other major things that stick out outside of needing to add fingerings and possibly changing the space of things. Let's see what happens if I do 4 and 4, and then I do 2, and then I do 2. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab, let me go ahead and save this first. Okay. Since it's patterned in 4-measure and 4-measure groupings to start, oops, we're going to take those 4 measures and then we're going to go up to layout, and then we're going to go into make into system. Very good. So because we have this magnetic layout, whatever you put on there, when you make any changes, it's going to, in terms of adding symbols and lines and all of that in text, it will stay. So make sure you keep your magnetic layout, or else you're going to have to readjust everything. I kind of like that. I like the spacing on that. So let's go ahead and do it here. These 4 measures. We're going to do making the system. Okay. And all right. So let's make that into a system. Okay, well, at least the spacing is a lot better here. Okay, so I need to make my repeat. I'm going to go to actually click on the line, all right, and then double tap. And when I say double tap, you're not tapping 2 times. It's 2 fingers, but I don't feel like saying 2-finger tap. All right, so now we go to bar line, and we're going to do an end repeat. And of course, that just takes us back to the beginning. We don't need a start repeat there. We already have a final bar line there. Okay. See if there's anything else I want to do here. Let's do dynamics and then finger numbers, and then we will be done for now. Okay, so I'm going to click on this beat, double tap, and we're going to add text expression. And make sure, you'll see this cursor. Let me zoom in, because if you don't do this right, it can be frustrating. All right, so let's click on the rest. It doesn't matter which one you click on here. Double tap. And then we're going to go to expression. Okay, make sure that you actually click on this blinking cursor here. Double click like you did before. All right, and that brings all your expression tools up. And we're just going to do piano. And I'm not going to do any kind of crescendo or decrescendo. This is a beginner piece. So I will let the teacher work with the student, minimize the amount of information there. And then at the very end, we are going to do a ritardando. And then we will do a diminuendo. And we'll start that. We'll start that right here. Okay, so this is a little bit different. Double tap. We're going to go to line. All right, and here we go. All right, and then we're going to also, near the end, let's do it here. Diminuendo. Double tap. Expression. Double tap. Okay, and that's enough for expression markings for now. And really it should be fading away, but you know, I'll make some more adjustments later, obviously. Final thing, finger numbers. All right, and so since there's a specific way that I want teachers to teach this that I would prefer, it is really concentrating on technique, playing with second and third finger. It's very important that we make sure that we do that. So we're going to enter finger numbers. So select the note, come off screen, or come off the staff, double tap. We're going to go to text, and then we're going to go into, we're going to go into other staff text fingering. All right, and this is going to be our second finger. Just going to drop it right below here. Let's copy that. Okay. So I think that's all I'm going to do today. All right. So, you know, it's not perfect, but it does give you some insight on, you know, some of the basics of Sibelius. So, you know, if you have some pointers, if you got some shortcuts you'd like to show me, feel free to leave a comment. And thank you for watching.